Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and as requested, this is another What's in My Garage, and this is probably going to take a bit longer than any of us expect, so I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible. But if there is anything in here that I've not reviewed already that you'd like to see a review of, please let me know in the comments, and if I don't do it, you know, sort of within the next week or so, just keep hounding me until I do. My memory is terrible and I probably will forget, so yeah, if there is anything you want to see, just keep mentioning it in the comments every now and again and I will get to it. So and also, if there's anything in here that you'd like to see more of in the videos, let me know about that as well, you know, in like the random destructions, etc. So let's get down to it, and I will skip through the combat cars a little bit. So obviously I've got the Fox, the Hornet, the Kraken, the Python and the Viper, and I would have sold 4 of those if they were actually worth anything, because it's just very, very unnecessary having 5 of them. I've wanted a combat car for a while, and it came with a load of boosts and what have you in that bundle around Christmas time, I think it was. Anyway, moving on. Got the Locust, little tier 3 American light tank, great little crew trainer. The Blitzen, which most of you will have, and lots of people wanted the lights to disappear after Christmas, but unfortunately with it actually having a separate name with Blitzen, they're going to stay, but it doesn't light up anymore in game. We've got the Lycan, and you'll notice a lot of these don't have crews in, and that's because I share crews with others, you know, use them as crew trainers and that sort of thing. So there are quite a few without crews in, because I've just got crews all over the place that I share between premium and tech tree tanks. The M41 Brazilian Bulldog, a bit of a letdown. I just found that one a bit disappointing. Personally, it's not quite as fast as the Bulldog. I've not got that one yet. I am going to be grinding towards a normal one. I've got the Ripper, which we should be seeing a review of maybe today, or I might do map tactics. I'm not entirely sure yet. I've got the M4, Lentil M4 Sherman. I do like that one. The Ram 2, which we saw yesterday in the review. Was it yesterday? I think it was. No, that wasn't yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. It was Battlefield. Of course, we've got Fury in there. Got the T20, which I'm slowly working on. Just keep doing my daily double in it. The T23E3. We also have the Freedom, which is obviously a Super Pershing variant, just with a different paint job. The T95E2. The T54E1, which I think we've seen in possibly one of my videos so far. Of course, we have my T29, which I have 2-starred now. Yay, look at me. Ooh. We also have the M6A2E1, also better known as the Mutant 6. We have the T32, which again, I keep doing my daily double in and working through slowly. I've been concentrating a bit more on American tanks recently, with the playoffs being there, with me having the bonuses, but I've been working mostly on the Chinese tanks. T34 Black, which is the same as the normal one, but obviously it does have that extra XP bonus, and as you can see I've got Sergeant War Daddy in there at the moment, so he's had a bit of an upgrade. I've got the Jackson, which I've nearly got the T25 AT, so I might actually, because I'm very, very close, that's 45,000, I might pull my finger out and get that done today and get into the T25, because I did have somebody asking. Scorpion, little TD American Premium one, fantastic little tank, no armour whatsoever, but a great little tank destroyer. T28 HTC, or Heavy Tank Concept, or T28 Concept, or yeah, I think that's about all its names. We also have the T30, which I really, really enjoy, although I've not got the big gun on it yet, the 152, it's still the 120mm, but it works quite well with that gun, to be honest, and I tend to play it more like a heavy tank. We have the, yes, I'm going to call it OP Sexton 1, a little tier 3 American Sexton artillery, not to be confused with the British Sexton 1. This does have a much better rate of fire. In fact, to be honest, it's just a better RT. Got my Snakebite in there. Still got my Matilda, go out in it every now and again for a bit of fun. I've got the Knight, and I'm overtraining a crew at the moment because I do have to get back to the British heavy line. I think I'm on the Churchill 7 next. Got the Boilermaker, the Centennial. Yes, I do have a few tanks. I've got the Centurion 7-1, which I have taken a break from recently because I realised that I've got 3 tier 10s and they're all British, and I was getting close to getting another tier 10 British, so I've thought I'll take a break from that one for now, and that's why I'm working on sort of American, German, Chinese, to try and get another nation's tier 10. I've got the Excelsior in there. I've got the Mighty Tog 2, which I've not taken out for a long time. I've got the Conqueror still, I've kept that one. I can't think where I've put my crew from the Conqueror, but I've still got the Conqueror. Oh, I remember, I swapped it, and it is in the Tog. That might be them. Yep, that's them. Sorry, no, the Conqueror crew is now in my Chieftain crew is now in my Tog, because I was going to sort of train them back up again. I did swap them about because I take the Conqueror out less than I do the Chieftain, so I thought it made sense to put that crew into the Chieftain. And obviously I have the Chieftain. I have the FV215B, the FV215B183, the Mighty Death Star, Panzer 38H, also known as the Micro Mouse, and thank you for to one of my subs, you know who you are, who actually gifted me that one, so thank you very much. And you'll notice some of these have a bit low XP on them. Some I've just not driven very much. Some, like this one, I converted a bit of XP off recently. I don't normally convert XP off my tanks, but I did do recently just to give myself a bit of a boost, because a lot of my grinds have been falling by the wayside because of, you know, doing a lot of reviews, etc. So I did just convert a bit just to give myself a bit of a boost through a couple of modules. I've got the Panzer 2 JPS, which was a freebie if you had PlayStation Plus. I don't know if it's still on there though. I've got the Panzer T15. I've got the Aufklärungs Panzer Panther, the Scout Panther, which I quite like. I know it gets a bit of a bad rep, but I like it. It's not particularly good. Personally, it's not particularly good as a sort of scout tank, but it is a very good light, sort of fast attack tank. I've got the Panzer S35, which is a captured French tank. I have the Gross Tractor, which I've had for a long time now. The Panzer T25 as well. I've got the tier 5 German premium. I've got the Girls und Panzer Camp 4, which I got for doing an op. Oh, might have been back in March last year, April, something like that. I've also got the Panzer 4 Hydro. I now have the Ram Panzer, the Panzer 5-4, which I absolutely love. I think it's fantastic. I have the Panzer 4S because it came with the bundle, which I've, well, as you can see, I've had one match in and it did not go very well. I also obviously have Kraft's Panther, which I've not been taking out as much as I should do, although I have been taking out fairly recently, so I want to try and train Carl Kraft up to go into another tank. I have my Panther 88, and that crew will be trained up and will be shared with Panther 2 shortly, when I've just built my money up a bit more. I have the captured KV1 as well, which you've obviously seen a review of. The Hammer, which I don't particularly care for. If I want to drive a Tiger, I will drive the normal one, even though this does have a couple of bonuses on it. I just prefer the extra mobility that the normal Tiger has. We also have the normal Tiger, which again I've not been going through as quickly because of trying to get through other things. I want to get through the 4502B first before I carry on going through the Tiger, and I'm also again training up the crew. I think they're in my Panzer 5-4 at the minute. I rebought the Tiger, so my crew is rubbish and I'm having to train them up. I did the typical noob thing, got the game, started playing it. Oh, Tiger, I need one. Went straight for the Tiger, got it, hated it because I didn't know what I was doing, sold it. Then when I knew better and knew how the game sort of worked and everything else, I've rebought it and love it. I also have Tiger 131. The VK4502B, not fully upgraded yet, and I'm finding it quite frustrating at the moment because of the turret. The frontal hull armour is fantastic, so they just put it straight through the front of my turret, which is not as good yet. I've got my little Hetzer, which I do take out again every now and again, but I've not been out in that for a while, I must admit. I do like that. I have the dirt gun on it because I just find it a bit more fun. I've got the Stug 4, which I never take out. I just really don't. because the hidden is so much better. The hidden Stug 3 is so much better than the Stug 4, and there you go. For those of you that don't have it, you can now see it in all its glory without the horrible comic book mode on there. And to any of my German subscribers, I did do German at school. I don't remember a lot of it. I do apologise, and I don't know if any of you could tell me what that actually says on the commander's hatch. I'd be, that'd be appreciated. So if any of you can, if you could please leave me in the comments. I'm just curious, and yeah, I'd appreciate that. So thank you in advance. I've still got my Jagdpanther because I am working through towards the Jagdpanther 2. I've not been going through it recently because, again, I've got other stuff to be doing. Well, not to be doing, other stuff that are taking priority in the game. I've got my E25. I've got my Ferdinand, and again, training crew up. Somebody recommended Mentor to me, and I'm just giving it a try. But I went out in it the other day. I had a pretty decent game, actually, the first time in a few weeks that I've been in it. But I am trying to train that crew up before I actually put them back in and go through the Ferdinand proper. I've got my Jagdtiger 88. I also have a little surprising. I have the AMX Chaffee. I don't think I ever mentioned it. I think I got it when there were a few bundles out. I actually got it bought for me by a family member with the bundle because I'd already got the other couple of tanks and I didn't want it. Well, I wanted it, but I didn't really want to pay for them. But they were cheaper tanks anyway, and I ended up with a load of silver in replacement, which sort of was beneficial to me at the time. Normally I wouldn't have got it, so, and I just completely forgot to mention it. And I've not been out in it too much. I do like it. It took a little bit of getting used to, but I like it. But it does play up to tier 10 and it's a tier 6, so it is a bit harsh on the matchmaking. I'm now up to the AMX 1375. I did have the 12T I think last time. In fact, there were quite a few tanks in here that weren't here last time. Some that probably were. Quite a few that probably were actually. I've got the CDC. I also have the Liberté, which I enjoy actually. It does play more like a heavy medium. I've got the, well, yeah, possibly, I don't know if it's the most broken gun in the game, but it's definitely up there, the FCM 36 Pack 40. Quite an OP gun and a little bit broken. I've got the ARL V39. The French tank destroyers are not a particularly painless grind, a bit like the second line of British ones with the Archer and everything else in it, the Charioteer, etc. I have the 105 FH18B2, or the LFFFFFN, as I like to call it. I also have the AMX 13F3. Got that fairly recently, not got it upgraded yet. In fact, it's completely stock, I think, still. I've got my little baby IS6, the T127. Great crew trainer. I've also got the BTSV, which does look as though it has a face on the front and is a great fun tank, but does encourage YOLO. It's almost like it wires something into your brain at the beginning of the match that just makes you floor it towards the enemy, and you have to really be careful and struggle to fight that urge because it's just one of those tanks. Great fun tank though. T3488, which is a T3485 with captured short 88 on it. Great little medium tank, fast, mobile, manoeuvrable, great gun, and not bad armour to be honest when you're top tier as well. I've got the A44, which I'm not finding much fun. I really enjoyed the A43, is it, before this one. I thought that was a really pleasant surprise for me. This one just seems to be a bit of a drag, and you're constantly getting your engine damaged in it, which is why I've got a cyclone filter on it, which is unsurprising because your engine is at the front. I've got my Motherland, great tank, T54 first prototype. Well, I love it. I think if you like your heavy mediums or your medium heavies, yeah. I don't know, is it a medium or a heavy? I'm not entirely sure. Not medium. Medium? Medium? I don't know. Anyway, it's a medium, but it's quite a heavy medium. Very good frontal armour. In fact, if you angle this thing at maybe 150-200 metres, you can bounce a hell of a lot of shots. I've got the King of Dirt, the mighty KV2, with my yes, Grim Reaper logo on there. I just felt it apt for the KV2. That's kind of how it is. when one of these comes around the corner in front of you, it kind of is like coming face to face with the Grim Reaper. Not so much if you're a higher tier, but definitely same or lower tier. And if one sneaks up behind you, you are done. I've got the IS-2, which is, well, that's the Russian IS-2, sorry. We are getting towards the end now. I've got the KV-4. Again, I need to sort of carry on with this one a bit more. But other tanks have been taking priority. And I know in the last garage review I did sort of give a bit of a description of each tank and this and the other, but I've got that many tanks in my garage at the minute, and I wanted to keep this sort of quite short, which is why I'm, you know, going through and just sort of picking out the odd tank to sort of mention here and there. I've got the KV-5, the Goranich KV-5, and I do like this tank. Again, I've not taken it out for a while. It's a great money earner, fantastic for ramming things. You get at the top of the hill and see something at the bottom, and they're done. It can pick up some great speed going downhill. I've got the T10, the Russian tier 9 heavy, or one of them. I've not got it fully upgraded again yet. I've still got the stock turret. I think I'm about 20,000 off first upgrade. But again, other tanks have been taking priority. SU-76I, another great little crew trainer, TD, very tough little bugger. In fact, I've got my record for kills in this, which I think is something like 10 or 11, and unfortunately nothing above a Top Gun because of the lower tier of tanks. The not so great SU-85, it's not too bad, but you do have to play this more in the traditional tank destroyer role, but this one is in the tech tree now. The box tank SU-100Y, huge 130mm gun on this tier 6 tank destroyer. Again, it's in the tech tree, and a lot of people basically refer to it as a tier 6 ISU-152, and that probably is the sort of closest that I can get to it, and it just does massive damage. Tier 6, 196 pen, 440 damage, or if you use your premium rounds, 171 pen, so it does drop but 510 damage, and then 580 damage on your HE rounds with 65mm pen. 65mm pen, there's a lot of stuff at tier 6 and below that will get through and just wreck. In fact, that could one-shot a lot of sort of tier 5s. Some tier 6s, I think, well, it has the potential to one-shot some of them anyway. The SU-122-44, one of the first higher tier premiums, if not the first higher tier premium that I actually bought. Great tank destroyer, great rate of fire. It uses that standard Russian 122mm gun, but it has a very good rate of fire, very good sloped armour, and incredibly manoeuvrable for a tank destroyer. It's based off the T-44, hence the name. It's 122mm gun, T-44 base. So it does have very good hull traverse, quite good sort of speed and manoeuvrability and everything else, and a lot of people, when they haven't seen one of these before, they'll try and get around it and get around your side or your rear, and you can outmaneuver them, and it takes them by surprise, and you just give them a good spanking. The ISU-122S, again, it's that 122mm gun, better rate of fire than the 122-44, and but it does not have the manoeuvrability. Some people prefer this over the 122-44. Personally, I'm not one of them, but again, everybody has different opinions. I really don't care for this tank, but it does have one of the best DPMs in the game. I've also got the SU-152, which has been sat quite lonely in my garage for a while, so I am working up towards the mighty troll cannon, but it's just taking me a while. I've also got the SU-100M1, because I'm working up there. I would like to try the SU-122-54, which is basically, well, it's like the SU-122-44, but it does a bit more damage, more pen, obviously it's tier 9, but it's based off the T-54, surprisingly. I've got the Type 64, Chinese premium light tank. Not a bad little tank actually, quite a decent light tank. I've got the WZ-132, Chinese tier 8 tech tree light tank. Again, nice light tank, although definitely more of a fast attack tank than a scout, although it can scout very well. But it does have poor gun depression, so it's not very good on the ridge lines. I've got my Type 59, one of my favourites. I do like this tank. Nothing particularly outstanding about it, but all of it comes together to make a great package. I've got the T-34-3 Black on here as well. And again, it's not too bad. The gun can be a bit of a letdown at times, but it does only play up to tier 9, so it's not too savage bred. I just feel that 100, again, it's the Soviet 122mm type of gun, and I just feel it's better left at tier 7 sometimes. I've also got my Legion, which has grown on me tremendously. It's got a dirty, great, stupid weak spot on top of the turret, but the gun handling is superb. I've got the tier 9 Chinese as well, the WZ-120, another one of my favourites. I do like this gun, it's got a lot of punch to it, and it's a decent tank. It's basically like the Type 59 but with a bigger gun. I've got the Chinese premium heavy tank, the 112, which I think I possibly might redo or do a better review for. I'm not sure. I'm going to look back at that review and see if there's anything I can improve on that. I've still got my 110 Chinese tier 8 Tech Tree 1, great tank. I prefer that to the IS-3 for a few reasons, which I think I've covered before. I've now got the tier 9 as well, the WZ-11114, which does look very similar to the T10, unsurprisingly, because it was based on it. And it's got the IS-3 turret on there as well. Not quite stock, but not fully upgraded. I'm using the same gun as on the 110. But you can see the upper glacis is slightly different to the T10. The pike nose doesn't reach all the way down to the end. It does have that flatter bit either side. Moving on to the Japanese, and coming to the end of this fairly long video, we have the Chinu Kai. I have the STA-1, which is a difficult tank to get on with, I don't mind admitting that. The STA-2 Black. Still got my Kaiju, which I've not been out in for a while. And I have the Oni, and I think, yep, that's it, and the Oni. So there you go, that's what's in my garage now. A lot of tanks to get through. Like I said before, if there's anything there that you've not seen me do a review of and you'd like to, just keep harassing me in the comments until I do it. I will get around to it, but my memory is awful. So, for now, I'll be back later on with a proper video tonight, and until then, take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.